Hello General Hospital fans, and welcome to Soap Dramatics channel. Brook Lynn is stunned to learn Deception's being sued, plus, Sam refuses to help Cody with his crazy plan. Thursday, August 24th, 2023, today on General Hospital, Dante questions Valentine, Sonny asks Carly about Austin, and Curtis gets some good advice. Sonny arrives at Kelly's to see Carly and asks about on her visit to Pentonville. She assumes he spoke with Dex, who she saw there, and asks what he wants to know. He asks if he saw Austin and if he was with anyone. She did see him, and says he was headed to the infirmary with his doctor's bag, so he likely was seeing a patient. Sonny asks about Drew, and Carly reveals he was thrown into solitary for protecting Cyrus. Sonny doesn't know why he'd want to protect that guy. Carly is worried that Cyrus' enemies will target Drew. Sonny tells her not to worry about Book, he's been given the message to stay away from Drew. Carly realizes that's why Dex was there. Sonny decides to run, but asks her to let him know if she learns anything more about Austin. He says the guy gets under his skin. In her office at GH, Portia looks at her wedding photo to Curtis. Ava stops by with coffee and wants to know if there is anything she can do. Portia knows Trina opens up to Ava and asks how she is doing. Ava says she is holding it together and Spencer has been there for Trina. Portia rants about Spencer and the Cassadines, but Ava feels she needs to give Spencer a chance for Trina's sake. Portia hates to admit it, but she's right. Ava says Spencer has been good to Trina. Ava asks when Curtis is coming home. Portia admits she doesn't know when or if he will, as she doesn't know where they stand. She explains the past few times she visited him, it's been tense, and he shuts her out. She knows Curtis is proud, and she thinks he doesn't want her to see him in a wheelchair. She has made it clear she doesn't love him any less and is in this with him, but he just keeps pulling away even further. Portia just doesn't know what else she can do. Ava suggests Curtis knows he needs her support, but maybe he just doesn't want the guilt that comes with it, as he may look at it as her giving up her life for him. Portia says she wouldn't be giving up anything, and marriage is about in sickness and in health. Ava thinks that's what she needs to tell him until he hears her. Ava decides to leave Portia to think things over. At the rehab facility, Brent the PT praises Curtis for the progress he's made. Jordan shows up and watches Curtis giving it his all. Jordan enters, and Curtis introduces them. Brent takes a break, and Jordan explains she comes with news. She informs him that someone burnt down Anna's house. Jordan sits down and fills Curtis in on what they know about the fire. This arsonist didn't want to kill Anna, but instead to send a message. Curtis suspects the shooting may have just been a message and nobody was supposed to be hit either. After Jordan leaves, Brent returns and tells Curtis how nice his ex is, especially to look at. He is also glad to see him having visitors. Brent has to check in with his supervisor and exits. His next patient arrives, a man with prosthetic legs, and Curtis watches him walk on a treadmill. Curtis wonders if he'll ever get that far. The man tells him that if he keeps comparing himself to other disabled people, he won't get far at all. He suggests Curtis live his life to the best of his ability, which is what he does. At the gallery, Spencer admits to Trina he hasn't thought about what the future holds. He says taking care of a baby takes up a lot of his time, and wishes he could give her a simple or straightforward answer. Trina says that's the problem, there is no simple or straightforward answer. Spencer says he needs to make sure his brother never feels abandoned, just like he was abandoned by his father. He vents about how when other kids had parents to tuck them in, his best friend was Chandler the family chauffeur. He longed to be part of a real family, and then his father abandoned him like he abandoned Ace. He wishes he knew where he was, and part of him wants to believe he was forced out of Port Charles. Trina says Victor could have done something to him, but Spencer knows he left them, just like when he faked his death before. Trina doesn't buy it and knows Spencer has told her happy stories about his dad, so she knows he cares about him. He admits he does love his father, and thanks her for talking him down as usual. Trina says hopefully they'll know more about what happened to his father when his grandma and Kevin return. Spencer suggests they get to work and he can help her hang paintings. Just then, Esme texts Spencer to ask if he's coming home for dinner. Compounding the situation, Portia enters with a large bag and yells, "Surprise!" She brought dinner for Trina, so Spencer cuts out and let them have time together. Portia tells Trina she didn't mean to spoil her night, she just wanted to celebrate her being back at the gallery. Trina thanks her and knows she probably needed a distraction from Curtis as well. Portia says Stella's staying in town to help, and Marshall's taking over the Savoy for the time being. Trina asks if she went to visit Curtis today. Portia admits she tried, but she just sat in her car and cried. She can't go through being pushed away by him again. Trina suggests Curtis needs space, and he'll come around. Portia isn't sure, and she wants to be there for Curtis, but he doesn't want her. She doesn't know what to do. Trina says there are no easy answers, and they embrace. At Deception, Lucy tells Maxie they are under attack, and that someone has malicious intent against their company. Gladys appears and needs to talk. She has to sell Sasha's company stock but can't, and asks what is going on. Just then, Brook Lynn bursts in and asks what is the emergency. Maxie explains they need to prep a PR statement. Gladys again asks why she can't sell any of Sasha's stock. Lucy says nobody can because of the lawsuit which has frozen their assets. Brook Lynn asks what lawsuit. Maxie reveals someone has charged them with intellectual property theft, saying they stole the idea of the Deceptor. Maxie explains their stocks are frozen due to this lawsuit. Brook Lynn asks who is suing them, but Maxie doesn't know. She says all they are listed as is an LLC. Irate, Gladys demands they do something as she needs the money. Brook Lynn asks why she needs the money so badly, and Gladys claims she needs it for Sasha's medical bills, which are piling up. Lucy rants that she didn't steal the Deceptor, it came from her own head with some help from Marty. She laments now they can't sell their best-selling product, and their stocks are falling. At Dante and Sam's, Dante asks Sam for a favor. He asks her to go check on Cody. He would, but thinks it will make Cody act crazier than he already is. He explains Cody tried to put on an act in front of him to try and get himself committed to Ferncliff. Dante is afraid Cody will get himself committed, with no way of getting out. After Sam heads out, Valentine drops by to see pick up Charlotte for dinner. Dante says Charlotte should be down any second. Valentine thanks Dante for taking Charlotte in with Laura out of town, as he just thought she'd be safer here with him, and it seems he was right. Dante is sorry about Anna's place and asks where they will live. Valentine says they are still working on that, so he'd like it if Charlotte could remain here. Dante says that's not a problem. Dante brings up the fire, and how it's weird neither Anna nor him were there. Valentine explains he had an emergency at ELQ that night. As Dante asks what the emergency was, Charlotte appears and hugs her dad. She said she had a great day at camp today. Charlotte tells him that she started the counselor in training program, but sometimes it's hard to see all the kids with their moms. Charlotte misses her mom and reveals Dante took her to see Lulu and she hasn't changed. Valentine asks Charlotte to grab her bag and then they'll head out to dinner. She heads upstairs, and Valentine asks Dante not to take Charlotte to see Lulu without telling him as it upsets her. Dante explains Lulu is her mother, and she asked him to take her, and he will again if that is what she wants. At the Quartermain stables, Mac arrives as Cody is talking gently to the horses. When Cody spots Mac, he begins his crazy act, and orders Mac to cuff him. He says Mac's always had it out for him, so drag him away. Mac tells Cody that he doesn't have it in for him, and he was just thrown when he initially learned he was Dominique's son. He also says Dominique and Sasha have a lot in common, as Dominique was also put into a mental hospital. Mac wants to help him, which is what Dominique would want him to do. Suddenly Sam enters, and Cody thinks Dante sent her to check on him. He says to hell with them both and storms out. Mac asks Sam to look after Cody and let him know if he can help. Mac leaves, and Cody returns and tries to usher Sam out too. She refuses until he tells her what is going on. She can't believe he's letting Mac think he's having a nervous breakdown, so drop the act. She says he can't con a con, and she knows a play when she sees one. He asks her to help him then. Sam says he must be crazy to think getting committed will work, as once he's in it's hard to get out. She refuses to help him. That's it for today. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section and don't forget to subscribe for more spoilers and updates.